Alright guys, what's good? It's like 9:10 right now, and before I get out there, you guys saw the temperature right now, so before I get out there, it's going to be super cold out, but I got to get these done. I want to get these mounts in today and do the install video like I said. Sun going, it's probably it's got to be like 45 now, so anyways, let's get this started. Alright, so guys, before we get started, a few tools you're going to need are a ratchet, smaller ratchet. You're going to want an extension for leverage, or if you have to pry a little bit. 17 mil socket, 19 mil socket with a breaker bar, and then I also have 2 wrenches right there, as you can see, with some WD-40. Another thing, you're going to want a jack. Obviously, I'm going to show you where you're going to jack the car up in the front, and then you're going to want 2 jack stands on both sides for safety purposes. Before I jack the car up, just look at that difference though. That's just going to spice the engine bay up a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and spray these 3 17 millimeter bolts right here. So this last bolt right here is kind of tough because, as you can see, the AC hose is literally right pressed against it, but you can just press your ratchet right against it and bend it to where you can get around it. So this one, believe it or not, is still actually good, so I'm gonna save this just in case. Alright, next we're gonna jack the car up from the jacking point in the front under the subframe. You're gonna put your jack stands under this little mount right there. You crawl under here, you're gonna have a front motor mount right here. I'm gonna work on getting this one out next. So for this first bolt at the bottom, 17, what I did was I took my breaker bar with a long socket, and I just went right in between here. Alright guys, on the opposite side there is another 17 mil, but unable to get that off, I have to take this radiator hose bracket off right here, which has a 10 millimeter on the back sides. Alright, so guys, the easiest way to do that is just kind of get it started with a 10 mil wrench, and once you get it loose enough, you can simply just loosen it up. And I was able to fit my breaker bar right up there. You guys can see I just folded it off to the back towards the fan. So now we're good. We're gonna unloosen this bolt. This car has been making a clunking noise lately, and there is literally no bolt holding this piece on. So there should be a locking nut or some kind of nut on the end of this, and it's not even there. So I think that is the problem right there, and if that sheared the bolt, I kind of would have been screwed. So thank God I came under here and checked this out. So we could take this 17 out now because I didn't have any locking thing on the end, so all I had to do was kind of hit it a little bit, and it came out. One more 17 at the top right here. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and start to get that out now. Alright, so guys, for this last one, this is probably the hardest one to get your socket onto. You're going to rest it against the hose pretty much. So you got to kind of prop it up there and push up against the hose. It'll be alright. And then once you get it on there, you should be good to go. The last bolt is out. This mount should just slide right out. All I gotta say is this piece to get out was an absolute bitch to do. Be patient because it will come out. As you can see, this thing is shot. This is not even safe to be driving on. There's so much play in there. You can see the rubber boot is just cracked like crazy. So Good thing I got a new one. Alright guys, so lastly, before we can install the new mounts, you have this rear motor mount you're going to take out, which are two 19mm bolts. So one there, and then one right here where my socket's on. So let's go ahead and do that. So here it is, guys. Here's one of them. This was definitely the hardest one to get out, in the rear and the front. And then I have one more left, as you can see right here. It's another 19mm, so we're going to get that out. Here's this one. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and just spray some WD on these, clean them up a bit. As you can see, they're in like shitty ass shape, so. Alright, so I'm just getting the old rear mount out right now. What you guys want to do is push the engine towards the front of the vehicle and like just press down and kind of like wiggle it. There we go. There it is. So now we're going to get the new one in. This is going to be a little difficult here. You gotta like push the motor like I said and kind of like work it in there kind of. So let's see what I can do. I'm not gonna even lie to you, this shit is mad hard right now. I'm trying to line this one up, as you can see. Line that up with that hole, and it's being an absolute bitch. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing. Guys, I finally got this rear motor mount in. It was a pain in the ass. It took me longer than I wanted it to. The best thing I can tell you guys to do this is, so you're gonna line this up. You're gonna put this rear one in a little bit so it's a little tight. You're gonna take a wrench or something so that you get leverage. As you push up with this leverage bar with the wrench, you have to push the motor back so you can get this one lined in. It was a complete pain in the ass, but I finally got this to work. Now I'm gonna go ahead, leave these as is. I'm not gonna tighten these yet, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the other motor mounts in. Just got back from the parts store. I had to pick up a whole new bolt pretty much because I couldn't find a hex head to fit on this, so I just picked up a whole nother one, and this one's a little bit narrower, so it should fit in more, it should fit in better. So I still can't believe that I didn't even have a nut on this. If this bolt sheared, I would have like no support in the front. Alright guys, so as you can see, I made the new bolt work and it fits in there pretty well. On the back side here, I got the nut and then a washer right in front of it. So I'm going to go ahead and connect everything back together, tighten up all these bolts, and should be good.